Good morning. Today I'm going to be talking about two new policies that our department recently initiated: sick leave and FMLA and the social media policy. I'll begin by describing each of these policies in detail and will conclude with answering some of the questions that you have all submitted regarding the policies. As within all our policies in the department, we encourage you to know and understand them. Understanding how to conduct yourselves in alignment with the policies we have in place will not only ensure you're doing your job correctly, but also will give you a sense of freedom in the fact that you're protected. The first policy I want to review with you today is Policy 1819, Sick Time and FMLA. Everyone on this job will at some point need to use sick time. This can be where you become sick in the event of one of your family members becoming sick or yourself. Sick time is provided to employees in the department as a benefit to aid them in times of illness for themselves and families. Sick time is not intended to be used in the place of vacation or holiday time. All firefighters will accrue a total of 112 hours of sick time each year. This time does not have to be used up by the end of the year and can be rolled over to the following years. When an employee needs to use sick time, they must input the valid reason in our computer system. If you need to report off 2 days consecutively, you must bring in a doctor's note providing information on the situation. FMLA can be approved for employees with an upcoming child being born, planned scheduled medical situation, or medical situation for your family member. To be eligible for FMLA, you must provide the proper documentation at least 30 days ahead of when the situation will occur. So I want to go over a few of the questions we received via email over the past 2 weeks after we rolled out these new policies. Again, these are not all of the questions that were sent in, but the ones that we saw the most of. First one was, why should I not use all my sick time each year when I've earned it? The sick time is yours, and yes, you have earned it. However, we strongly suggest that you roll your time over when you have the chance each year. In the unfortunate instance that you're hurt outside of work, you will need an extended amount of time off. Having sick leave stored up can ensure you still receive a paycheck every other week. How early do I have to report off sick? Employees are encouraged to report off as early as possible, up to 24 hours prior to oncoming shift, to help manpower be adjusted accordingly. When employees delay in the last minute, it can strain manpower and cause people to work over or get mandatory, which creates a negative morale. The latest possible time to report off with our computer system is 0600. Anyone who needs to report off after this must call the direct supervisor, as well as call the station that they are to report to and advise them of the situation as well. When they return, they must provide a written documentation to the chief explaining the late notice. If I go out on FMLA, will I lose my assignment when I come back? No, if you need FMLA for any reason, and it's approved with proper documentation, when you get back, your assignment will still be there, as long as you can still perform those duties. If you're not able to perform the same duties, we will relocate you to another place that best fits what you can do. What happens when I abuse the sick leave policy? This is the discipline that people like to talk about. Well, for one, when you abuse the sick leave, it can mess up your coworker's schedule. Most of us have a second job, and if at the last minute you get mandatory to have to hold over, it can mess up that other job. Abusing the policy also results in your punishment. You need a doctor's note for calling out those 2 days, or you have a written documentation. These stay in your files for 12 months, and you're not able to promote in this time. Also, if you use more than 112 hours during the 12 months, you will have a written documentation for this as well. The second policy we'll review is 1818. This policy was set up to establish ground rules for social media on and off the job. As a sworn employee that serves the public, what you post on social media reflects the department, even if you're not on shift. Our department realizes that social media is used by nearly every employee. Our department also realizes that social media can be seen by the public, and any negative post made by an employee will not only result in negative implications for that employee, but as the department as well. As a city employee, we will be held to a higher standard, and we can be held accountable for what we say and post on social media. Employees must remember that all posts made could be used as public records. No employees are permitted to use the computers for personal social media activities. Computers are for work-related usage. Employees may express themselves with freedom of speech on social media as long as it does not negatively influence the department or speak in a demeaning manner about citizens or employees. So the disciplines that we have for social media, each violation is taken seriously and investigated to determine the level of discipline needed. For minor offenses, a verbal meeting will be held for each occurrence. If the employee has previously had a verbal meeting, a written documentation goes to their file. Like with sick time, these stay in your file for 12 months. You're not able to get a promotion during that time. And for major offenses, you will go before a panel to decide if an unpaid suspension or termination is justifiable for the cause. Hope this video has helped all of us to better understand the new policies we have adapted as a department. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, see your captain for further discussion and clarity. The department cannot run with each of you without each of you being as dedicated as you are. Thanks for everything you do and stay safe.